want to appreciate God for this time again as I bring these teachings to us today. Excuse me. And as I focus on the challenges that are facing young people today, so many of them have lost direction. They have lost way. The reason is not that there are no people to guide them or they haven't been raised up with parents or responsible people. But at some point in our lives, we have reached a level where we have enabled some of the things that happen to them. The behaviors they have come as a result of our enablement in what they have been doing. And so there is a reason and a purpose for us to come back and see how can we correct where we have gone wrong. And that's why I want to talk about raising the bottom. I bring these teachings called raising the bottom. Hitting the bottom means facing the reality, hitting a hard, painful place with nowhere else to go. Raising the bottom is raising the standard or a level at which your people or your child, your young one, can be able to attain to live the right way. Instead of going down and hitting the rock bottom, you raise that bottom to a standard level of behavior that they cannot be able to go down or indulge themselves in things that will cause them hit the bottom. And that's what I want to talk about. How do we then raise the bottom? Number one is stop rescuing your loved ones. There's a moment in life that you don't rescue your people every time. There is a level at which you will leave them to face the reality, to hit the hard place, the painful place. Most times we have this compassion in our hearts that goes out to them, and we generously give them time and snatch them from situations that they would have learned. And we take them away, rescue their lives. And in that sense, we have lost them. In other words, we have not given them opportunity to learn through them. All too often, we have covered up their irresponsible decisions. We have paid bail so they could get out of jail, paid delinquent bills or the rent. We've believed their heart-stopping stories of tragedy. And yet, we are not sure that we are enabling them in the behaviors they are going through. So one way to raise the bottom is stop rescuing them all the time. They need at some point to learn the lesson. Number two is tell them the truth. You help to raise the bottom of your loved one by being truthful about their problems. Don't hide. We often have perfect insight in seeing the problems in strangers and other casual acquaintances. But when it is your own family member, you want to believe the best, and you deceive yourself by saying things really aren't all that bad. I'm sure things will get better soon. You need to speak the truth, not in a torrent of frustration and rage, but firmly, so the message is unmistakable. You have a problem. Face them and tell them you have a problem. You need to change. You need help. I can't change you. I won't make any more excuses for you. Help is available, but you must choose to get help. That's the truth I'm talking about. That you have to tell them the truth of their problems. Face them and tell them this is what you're going through. This is the problem you have. And that's, in a way, you're helping them. It's painful for them to hear that. But let them feel the pain. Let them feel the pinch, but be helped. So let us raise the bottom by telling our loved ones the truth, that so that this generation can face that truth and be helped. Number 3, don't make decisions for them. How many times even the old people that need to be living by themselves, need to have their own families, we are still there making decisions for them. We are there still making decisions as dads and moms. There's a level at which you leave a child to make a decision. I've heard of a story of a dad whose son went to him and asked him for money. And the dad asked him, what's the money for? And he said, I want to take my girl out. I want to go out for dating. And the dad was smart enough, and he gave his son the money he wanted, the much he wanted. And so this guy went out with his girlfriend for the first dating. And when he came back, he sat down his dad and said, Dad, I didn't know how expensive dating can be. I didn't know how expensive relationship can be. He learned a lesson, but his dad never made a decision to tell him, it is not good, it is expensive, don't do this. This guy was grown up enough to make his own decisions in life, and so he had to test it to make the decision. Another story that I heard about, and this cannot apply to you, of a dad of a pastor who sat down his son, and there was some secular music going on, and they were watching, and his son was very much uncomfortable on what was being brought on the TV at that time. And the dad asked him, why are you so uncomfortable watching this music with me? He said, Dad, those are dirty music. The dancing, the songs, the words of music are not good. He had to make a decision by himself. Let us make an environment, or create an environment where our loved ones can make decisions by themselves. There is a level at which we make decisions for them. But again, we need to understand and be wise that we cannot make decisions for them forever. And that's how we can be able to raise the bottom. They make decisions, they mess up, and they come back to themselves and realize, hey, I think this is not the right way to go. There is another better way to go. Realize that at the point when you're leaving them to make decisions, you have guided them, and they know the truth. They know the other side of the truth, and they want to see the other side of not making the right decisions. And so when you leave them make their own decisions, they will come to a level of wisdom, of realizing there is need to make right decisions. Another way to raise the bottom is don't stop their pain. Don't stop their pain. Many of us can walk away from a stranger who is in pain, homeless, dirty clothes. But when it is your own loved one, your own child, your own brother, your own sister, your own cousin, it isn't so easy. But let me tell you this, friends, pain motivates change. Pain motivates change. When we rescue our loved ones and prevent them from experiencing the painful consequences of their irresponsible decisions, we feed their delusion and extend their path to hitting bottom. Instead of raising the bottom, our own kind of help lowers the bottom, making their destructive path even longer. Don't stop their pain. Another point, number 5, is start early in life. The Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go. And when he has grown up, he will not leave that path. Why? Because when you're raising up a child, if they're at a level where they are understanding and learning and getting everything in their hearts of what they need to do. Disciplining children today is often viewed as a taboo. time of growing up, I'm not old, but in the very recent years, when I was growing up, there was very high discipline in the family to a level at which moral values were highly respected. The sooner in life you start applying proper discipline and consistent boundaries for your children, you raise the bottom. You raise the bottom so that they cannot start the journey to hitting the rock bottom. If your child is 40 years old, you can't go back and change the past, but you can change the future. You can mold your child for the future. Start early in your life. Most of you have young children. Begin at that level. Please, don't put down the rod when it is needed, because that will train the child. You're shaping the future. You're molding the destiny of that child. Start early in life. Number 6, get ready for emotional warfare. When you're raising the bottom, if you begin to raise the bottom, be ready for emotional warfare. What I mean is this. If you begin to raise the bottom and make your loved one face the painful consequences of the actions with no more offers to rescue them, get ready, friends. Get ready for a flood of anger, a flood of pain that will pour out back to you. What kind of a Christian are you? They begin to say. You are supposed to help people when they have a crisis, especially family. And those are the words that come out from your loved ones. They will come to you from your friend, from your brother, from your sister, from your parent, from your child. Their anger may take the same path as a little children being disciplined who scream. You hear them saying, I hate you. If you can stand their rejection and you cave into their demands, you only lower the bottom and prolong their damage. The words of Jesus on the cross can strengthen you when harsh words come at you. Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Get ready for the emotional pain. Get ready for that moment. Don't try to rush the process of raising up the bottom. Make sure that our generation today can stand the test of time when we begin to raise the bottom for them. Raise the bottom for your child, for your brother, for your sister, for your loved one. Don't enable them. Don't lower the bottom so that they can hit that rock bottom, but raise the bottom that they can be responsible people today and tomorrow. Their future will be better when the bottom is raised. I'm looking forward for such a moment of the generation we live in today, that these young people will not be the same, but they will rise up to grab the opportunity to raise the bottom and be responsible young men and women in our society. Take this to heart, and the Lord will help you as you continue to raise this generation. God bless you.